All right, everybody, welcome back. You know that scene, right?
Yeah.
You know the one where someone in an alien movie gets just a little too close to one of those xenomorph eggs,
Oh, yeah.
and we're all yelling at the screen, "No,
Yeah.
don't do it! Are you crazy?" But today, we're going a little deeper. We're asking, what if there's a reason, like a really creepy, smart reason, why those eggs are so irresistible?
It's a question fans have been kind of chewing on for, well, since the movies came out.
Yeah.
The theories we're looking at today, they blend sci-fi with some real biology.
Okay.
The idea is that maybe those eggs are messing with people's minds, like in ways we haven't even thought of.
So we're not here to say, oh, those characters are stupid.
Right.
It's more like, what if the xenomorphs,
Yeah.
or even whoever made them, are playing a much, much smarter game?
Exactly.
They're targeting our instincts, our curiosity, and turning it into a weapon against us.
Exactly. And theory number one dives right into, the tiny world of spores. We know xenomorphs are survivors, right?
Right.
Adapting to anything.
So what if they've evolved a way to guarantee they'll always have hosts?
Even in space.
Especially in space, where, finding a host is a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's like those cordyceps fungi.
Oh, right.
Turns ants into zombies.
But instead of the body, it's
Yeah.
the brain they're after.
Exactly. So picture this. Microscopic spores,
Okay.
engineered to get past, like, even the best spacesuit filters.
Wow.
They get in the helmet, into the astronaut system,
Oh, no.
and they go right for certain neurochemicals, like dopamine.
Dopamine. That's the feel-good stuff, right? Makes
Yeah.
you happy.
Right, like when you have a great meal,
Yeah, or see a beautiful sunset.
a beautiful sunset, exactly. But in this case, it's not those things that are giving you the rush.
It's the spores.
It's the spores themselves. They're creating a fake sense of pleasure that's linked specifically to the egg.
So you're tricked into thinking like, oh, I feel good. It must be that egg over there. I want more.
Exactly. Think about what that means for, like, a space crew. Right, they're trained.
Even if they're trained, they're disciplined.
Yeah.
They can't fight this kind of manipulation.
Because it's biological.
It's biological. You feel this urge, this need to find out where that pleasure's coming from. You get closer
And closer.
and closer, and that leads you straight to the egg.
And it's not just one person.
Right.
One person starts acting weird,
Yeah.
right, going toward the egg.
Yeah.
Someone else is going to follow.
Of course.
Out of worry, curiosity, whatever. It's like a chain reaction.
It is. A domino effect.
The whole team's in trouble.
Yeah. And that's just one theory. Our second one looks at something we can't even see. Electromagnetic fields.
EMFs.
EMFs, those things we're surrounded by all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We know they can mess with the brain. There's research showing how certain frequencies can screw with your sleep, your mood, even how well you think.
So we're talking like weaponized EMFs?
Imagine that. The egg is sending out a signal.
A signal that messes with your brain.
Yeah, and it's tuned to hit your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain for decision-making, for being rational.
Oh, so it's turning off your danger alarms.
Yeah. It shuts down your ability to assess risk.
And while it's doing that, it's making you more curious about the egg.
At the same time, it cranks up your curiosity. The egg seems irresistible.
Even though you know it's dangerous.
You know it's dangerous, but you can't help yourself. It's like
it's hacking your brain.
exactly. It's overriding your survival instincts.
This is creepy.
And guess what? Spacesuits don't protect you from EMFs.
Oh, come on.
Those frequencies go right through.
So you're trapped, your brain is fried, and all you want is to get closer to.
The source of that disruption, the egg.
It's a trap.
It's a terrifyingly good trap.
My mind is blown. And we're only on theory 2.
And we're only on theory 2. This next one is about, well, something you can't even hear.
What? How can something I can't hear affect me?
That's the thing about infrasound.
Infrasound.
It's too low for our ears to pick up, but our bodies can still feel it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Infrasound is often linked to danger in nature, like, earthquakes or the roar of a predator.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it triggers that fight or flight response.
Exactly. On a deep level, your body's saying, get away from whatever's making that sound.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going.
But here's the twist. What if the egg is emitting the infrasound?
Oh, to create that feeling of danger.
To make you feel uneasy, scared. You feel this urge, right? This need to find the source.
And deal with it,
Get rid of it.
which leads you right to
The egg.
the egg. Oh, man. So it's like the egg is using our fear against us.
Exactly. It's drawing you in with this silent siren call.
And it gets worse, right?
Yeah, it does. Infrasound can mess with your balance, too.
Seriously.
Dizziness, vertigo, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So you've got this urge to run, but you can't even stand straight.
That's messed up.
You're disoriented, your brain is screaming, danger, and the only way to make it stop is to get closer to
The egg?
the egg. It's brilliant in a terrifying kind of way.
So you're basically a puppet.
Pretty much.
And there's more.
There's one more layer to this. It's called the ghost frequency.
The ghost frequency.
Yeah, where infrasound creates this feeling like someone's there, like you're being watched.
Wait, so the egg could be using infrasound to make you feel like you're being haunted.
It's playing on your deepest fears.
That's some alien isolation level stuff right there.
It's not just a physical threat, it's a psychological weapon, turning you into prey.
So it's like a triple whammy.
Mm-hmm.
Spores, EMFs, and infrasound, all working together.
It makes you wonder, how do you even fight that?
Right. Like, what chance do these people even have?
Which brings us to theory number 4. This one ties in with those mysterious engineers from Prometheus.
Oh, the engineers. They add a whole other level to the alien universe, don't they?
They do. We see them as advanced, but also kind of reckless, dangerous.
Yeah.
And if they did create the xenomorphs like Prometheus suggests, then maybe those egg tactics aren't just evolution.
You mean they're deliberate, like a bioengineered weapon?
Exactly. Picture this. The engineers, with all their tech, create a creature that uses our curiosity, our fear, to reproduce.
That's theory number 4.
Yeah.
The engineer's touch.
Yeah,
And it fits, right? I mean, they were messing with bioweapons in Prometheus, that black goo.
definitely. So the xenomorphs could be like a terrifying but brilliant result of that research.
It makes you wonder what their goal was. Like, were the xenomorphs for a specific enemy?
Maybe for terraforming, or something even crazier that we can't even imagine.
Like the alien universe just expanded 100 times. We're not just dealing with a monster.
Right.
We're dealing with whoever made the monster
Right.
and what they're capable of.
Exactly. We're talking about ethics, unintended consequences, the whole playing God thing.
Which is a fear we all have, especially today. AI, gene editing, our own creations turning against us.
It's a real fear.
The xenomorph is like the embodiment of that fear.
Yeah.
It makes those scenes where people are lured in by the eggs even more scary.
Yeah.
They weren't just careless. They were up against something designed to use their weaknesses against them.
It totally changes how you see those scenes.
It's not just horror. It's like cosmic horror. The real monster isn't the creature. It's the mind that created it.
Right.
Which brings us to our final theory, the one that brings all of this together.
This is where it gets really interesting.
It's almost too perfect and too scary to think about.
Theory number 5 is what we call the perfect storm. It's not just one thing that makes the eggs irresistible. It's all of them, all at once.
You're kidding. So we're talking spores, EMFs, infrasound, maybe even nanotech, all hitting you at the same time.
Picture this. You're on a derelict spaceship. The halls are dark and quiet. You feel a shiver. That's the infrasound hitting your fear response.
Okay.
Then you smell something strange, almost sweet, but metallic. Those are engineered pheromones, bypassing your logic, pulling you forward.
And at the end of the hall,
You see the eggs, glowing, pulsing. That's the visual manipulation, drawing on your curiosity.
and while all that's happening, microscopic spores are getting into your suit, amplifying everything.
And EMFs are messing with your brain, making it impossible to think straight.
You're trapped, like a moth to a flame.
You never stood a chance. Whether it's evolution or the engineers, the xenomorph has mastered manipulation, turning reproduction into a horror show.
That's terrifyingly beautiful.
It is.
But as alien fans, we kind of love that, right?
Absolutely.
It pushes the boundaries, makes us question everything.
It keeps us on the edge of our seats.
And those encounters in the games, especially Alien, isolation, they become so much more intense.
You're not just fighting a creature.
You're fighting an intelligence that's designed to exploit your every weakness.
Exactly. It adds a psychological depth to the horror. You appreciate how clever the creature is.
You almost feel sorry for the characters who get caught.
Almost. But before we get too comfortable with that thought, there's one final thing to consider. Yeah, it's like it flips the script right.
Yeah.
Those moments when someone's like, oh, they're just being dumb, getting close to the egg.
Yeah. Right.
It's not dumb. It's like they're being played.
It's like they're being played, yeah.
And that takes us to theory number 5.
Okay, hit me.
This is where it gets, well, Kind of mind-blowing. It's called the perfect storm.
The perfect storm, right?
The idea is it's not one thing that makes those eggs so hard to resist.
Right. Yeah.
It's all of them working together at the same time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we're talking spores, EMFs, that infrasound, maybe even some nanotech we haven't figured out yet,
All at once.
all hitting you at once.
It's just not fair.
It's like this multi-layered attack. You don't stand a chance.
All right, so walk me through this. I'm on a derelict ship. It's dark, quiet, creepy as hell.
Okay, so you're exploring the ship right. Dark, quiet, you said it, creepy.
Yeah.
Suddenly you get this chill, a feeling of dread, like something's wrong.
Oh, God.
That's the infrasound tapping right into those primal fears.
Okay, my heart's already racing.
Then you pick up a scent. It's weird, almost sweet, but with this metallic edge.
What is that?
Engineered pheromones. They go right past your conscious mind, pulling you in.
I don't like where this is going.
And then at the end of the hallway, you see them, the eggs.
Oh, no.
We're kind of glowing, pulsing. That's the visual part, messing with your head, drawing on that deep curiosity.
No, I can't look away.
You can't look away. Meanwhile, those tiny spores are getting through your suit, making everything worse.
Ugh, I can feel it.
And the EMFs, they're scrambling your brain. No clear thinking, no good decisions.
I'm a goner.
You're caught in a web, drawn to those eggs like a moth to a flame.
It's a masterpiece of manipulation.
It is, whether it's millions of years of evolution or the engineer's handiwork, the xenomorph has this down to a science, turning reproduction into, well, survival horror at its finest.
And that makes you really rethink those scenes, right? Where someone goes near the eggs
It's not just bad luck or a bad call, it's like they're being pulled in.
by an invisible force.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if anyone in the alien universe ever had a chance.
Right, like, if they knew about all this, could they have fought it off?
Especially in Alien. Isolation, you're hunted by this thing the whole time.
Trying to outsmart it.
But what if the game had used these theories?
Oh, man. Imagine that tension, knowing it's not just hunting you,
It's messing with your senses.
it's playing on your fear.
Oh, that would be a whole new level of scary.
You'd be questioning every sound, every shadow,
Every move you make.
every move. But thinking beyond the games and movies makes you wonder about the bigger picture.
Yeah, like what if we meet something like the xenomorphs? For real.
It challenges how we think about intelligence, about technology.
We like to think, oh, we're smart, we have tech, we can handle anything.
Right.
But the xenomorphs show us that intelligence can look very different.
And sometimes the scariest enemy is the one that knows us better than we know ourselves.
That's humbling. And it brings us back to the engineers.
Yeah.
If they made this thing, designed it to be this manipulative, what does that say about them?
Were they trying to make the ultimate weapon?
Or a tool to control evolution.
Or just playing around with stuff they didn't understand, like a dangerous game with life itself,
It's like the xenomorphs make us face our fear of the unknown.
but also our own potential, for both good and bad.
Yeah, for creation and destruction.
It makes you think maybe the real horror isn't the creature, it's the intelligence behind it. Yeah, it's heavy stuff to think about. Makes those scenes hit differently, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like,
Right.
we're not just watching some dumb horror movie.
Right. There's real depth there.
We're looking at the dark side of evolution, maybe even intelligence itself.
Exactly. It's not just about the monster, it's about what that monster represents. Our fears, our potential, the things we don't want to admit about ourselves.
So after all this, what are we left with?
I think a lot of questions. And maybe a healthy dose of paranoia.
I mean, I'm never looking at a creepy egg the same way again. But seriously, where do we go from here?
Well, for one, I think we appreciate the Alien franchise even more. It's not just about the scares, it's about making us think.
Pushing boundaries, exploring the unknown.
Exactly. And, maybe we take away a little cautionary tale.
Like, hey, maybe don't be so quick to poke around alien artifacts.
Especially glowing eggs.
Especially glowing eggs.
Yeah.
But even bigger than that, it makes you think about our place in the universe.
If there's something out there that's mastered manipulation like this, what does that mean for us?
Are we ready for that kind of encounter?
I don't know. Maybe not. But at least we're asking the questions, right?
That's what this deep dive is all about. Asking those tough questions, exploring those dark corners of the universe, and hopefully coming out a little bit wiser on the other side.
Exactly. So thanks for joining us on this journey. Keep those motion trackers handy, and remember, sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we create ourselves.
That's it for the deep dive this week. We'll see you next time. And in the meantime, watch your backs, folks. The universe is a strange and wonderful place, But it's also full of surprises. And some of them, well, they might just bite back.